Hi there, my name is Alison Lush. I'm a certified professional organizer. I work in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and I'm very excited today. I want to share with you something that I did today that really surprised me. I've been a professional organizer for almost 10 years. People hire me to go into their homes to help them to declutter, to review what they own, to help them so that they can be supported while they make their decisions about what they keep and what they let go. I work in my own home also. All the strategies that I learn in all the classes I take and all the books that I read and all this, I think about it and I apply an awful lot of it in my own home, as you can imagine. So over the years, since I started working as a professional organizer, I have practiced every strategy possible in my own home. My husband and I live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I've gone through my stuff regularly over the years. And every once in a while, I keep stuff just because I don't feel like doing the work and making the decision. I'm like everybody else. Sometimes I don't feel like doing the work either. So today I saw something on the internet that really inspired me, and I wanted to talk with you about it. There's a group on the internet called Becoming Unbusy. So today they published this thing, get rid of 100 things. So what I did was I cleared off my kitchen table, I printed up the paper, and I started going around the apartment. I went to each category of things. So I went to the extra washcloths and I went through them and I picked out some that I was willing to get rid of. Then I went to my mending pile and I went through my clothes and I went through my books and I went through my dishes and I went through the office supplies. When I went through the categories of things that are shared between both my husband and I put to the side the things that I think that we could get rid of out of that category, and then I showed them to him and asked his permission. Does he agree with me that we could get rid of these things? Because if it's shared belongings, we have to be respectful, obviously. And he agreed with everything except one thing. I also found several things, 3 or 4 things that had gone missing, that were just hiding and we didn't know where they were. And I found them today, and both my husband and I were really, really happy to find those things. So gradually as the day progressed, I put more and more things on the table and I ticked off the circles. If, for example, I was going through the washcloths, because I have too many washcloths to fit in my little box. So let's say I took out 5 washcloths that I was willing to give to charity. That was really one decision. So I put the 5 washcloths on the table and I put 1 X on the paper, which means that in reality, the fact that I filled up the entire paper, it means that there's way more than 100 things on that table. There's a lot of stuff on the table. It did not feel difficult to do this process, despite the fact that I don't think that I have a ton of excess in my home because I go through it on a regular basis. And I went to one category and I just ended up sort of skimming off the low-hanging fruit. I love that expression because of the picture in our heads. You think of an apple tree, for example, or a fruit tree, and it's the fruit that's hanging down actually below the tree that we can just reach up without a ladder and just take off. That's the low-hanging fruit. So when we're doing decluttering, I call the low-hanging fruit the decisions that are really easy to make. A wire for a machine that I don't even have the machine anymore, that would be a low-hanging fruit decision. I went through the washcloths, got rid of the excess ones, went through my clothes, picked out a few things. I didn't have to work very hard because I just was trying to get just a few things. Every category in the entire home. And then around number 80, it started to get a little bit difficult because I had already been through the entire apartment. So I had to sort of go back through the apartment and push myself a little bit harder. But I was absolutely determined to make it to 100. There's no magic solution. This is a strategy. This here is a strategy, just like so many other strategies, that you can either just have an idea in your head of how you want to proceed. You can ask a friend to work with you. You can hire a professional organizer. You can find a book. You can see something on the TV or on the internet that inspires you. It doesn't matter where the inspiration or the strategies come from, as long as it's something that can help you get started and get you moving forward. The reality is that to declutter our stuff requires many decisions. So we pick something up and we have to ask ourselves, is this necessary, useful, or does it give me pleasure? And therefore, do I want to keep it, or is it something that I'm ready to let go? Another thing that's very important, it's wonderful to go through our possessions and to declutter and let go and pass on to other people things that we're not needing anymore. That's dealing with the symptom. The actual source of the problem is what we're bringing in our front door. It's the stuff that we're taking possession of, the stuff that we're adding to our collection. I would encourage you to take photographs of the stuff that you're giving away to charity or selling or whatever. because it will help you understand the volume of stuff that you had in your home that was taking up space before that you weren't really necessarily conscious of. And then when you let it go, you're regaining all that space. So it's a real eye-opener to look at all that stuff objectively in a photograph and understand the space that it takes up in our homes. And I try to remember that when I'm out before even going to the stores. I only want to bring home stuff if it's really adding extra value to my life, if it's really worth giving up some of my hard-earned space for. So I encourage you to think of the whole cycle of possession, the ownership cycle, from the time we acquire things, what it's like for us to own it and for it to be in our home, and then discarding. Everything in my home should be giving me value in exchange for the space it takes up. I am not a minimalist. I have a lot of minimalist mindset, but I have a number of things in my home that I don't really need or use or are not necessary because it's work to make the decisions, etc. So today was an excellent activity for me to go through and do a great big sweep. There's a huge volume of stuff walking out the door. I'm really excited. I'm really inspired. I hope that this has inspired you. We would love to have any comments from you down below, either that you felt inspired by this video, that you felt inspired by this strategy, that you've tried it yourself, or you have another strategy you want to share with us, or you went through your stuff. We would love to hear from you if you feel inspired by this. Thank you so much for watching. Don't hesitate to hit the like button so that you get more of these videos, or follow me on Facebook or follow me on YouTube. And thanks so much for watching.